Welcome back to Hook Boxing. Today we're joined by Jerome Stay Ready Campbell,
Yes,
who's
sir.
8-1-1.
Hmm.
Notably, the draw is a bit controversial, and the loss is to Mick
Very.
Ball, who, well, we've all
Yeah.
gone and seen how well he's done. So it's like, of all the people to lose to, that's kind of,
Yeah, I mean, like that loss, it has its own story to it. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, he's doing good things, man. So can only appreciate his journey and respect him for what he's doing, innit?
yeah. So the first question actually comes from my last interview,
Okay.
because I like to bookmark all of the interviews where the boxers ask each other stuff at the start and at the end.
Oh, nice. Nice, man.
So
It's a
the
nice
first,
feature.
yeah, the first question is, what's your favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal. Damn.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know how long you've been following me or my journey or something, but I recently started eating meat again. So it's literally been a
okay,
year now. So I was vegan for 8 years. So
yeah.
obviously, it's been a year since I've been eating meat now. So the options have broadened massively. Um, I don't know, man. Sometimes it might have to be oxtail rice and peas, maybe
Hmm?
some festival. Yeah, man. Or if it's like fast food, maybe a Five Guys or something. Just throw
Five
everything
Guys is good.
in.
Five Guys is
Five
good.
Guys, yeah, a shake and all that. You know what I mean? Peanuts in the
Yeah.
queue, the whole shebang, man.
Mm. That's a solid answer. And at the end of the interview, I'll ask you for a question for the next guy as
Okay.
well. So you've got some time
Yeah,
to think
man.
about that.
Now that's a
Um,
cool feature, man. I like that.
yeah, I've nabbed it. It's actually, do you know Stephen Bartlett?
Oh, yeah, yeah, Diary of a CEO. Yeah, I
Yeah,
listened to the podcast, so I
yeah.
figured it was from there. No, it's good, man. That's how you're meant to grow, man. You know what I mean? Inspiration.
Mm. That's the thing. I mean, it's if people only take stuff if it's good, so it's a compliment. It's not.
That's exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Sorry, but
talking
how long have
about,
you been doing this?
how long have I been doing this? I started when I finished college, so August around then. But then
Now
it was
you're doing well, man.
very slow, and then this year it's like picked up a bit. We've actually had, so I think last year I did six total interviews, and then January, or well, this year so far I've done. I think this is my eighth.
No, man,
Yeah.
I respect the work ethic, man, and I need to apologize to you as well because I know you was trying to get hold of me since like the beginning of December last year. So I
Uh,
owe you an apology for taking so long to come. But
nice. It's honestly,
I'm
it's
happy to
okay.
be here, man. I'm happy to
It,
be here, man.
compared to some people who I won't name, you're a lot better, honestly. Like,
I'm glad to hear that.
um, yeah, no, it's early days, but I put a lot of time into it, so it'll be
That's it,
good.
man.
It'll be good.
It'll pay off.
Just talking about you. So you started boxing at 21, is that right?
21, yeah, you done your research. Yeah, man.
Of
21, I
course.
started. Yeah.
Why did you start at all?
Um, Gosh, you know what it is? Yeah, I've been asked this question so many times, but
Mm,
not recently. So it's like I haven't been asked that question for a while. Um, so why I started, you know what? I didn't start with any intention to box. I didn't start with any intention to compete. I didn't start with any intention to turn over to pro. I
mm,
had no intention. I thought it was pretty cool. I saw the Olympics. A friend of mine was doing boxing at the time, and I thought what he was doing was very cool. He was like showing us a few things in his garden and that. And then we went to an amateur gym. Um, where I live as well, like the little estate, little way that I live in. Everyone's kind of, for some reason, we're all boxers. Like everyone's just involved in fighting,
yeah.
whether it's like combat, it was some sort of combat. We was all younger, and yeah. So once I got the bug for it, I think a lot of boxers say that. What it was I remember my first spar, my first proper spar.
Yeah.
I would have been 21, and the person I sparred would have been probably, I don't know, I want to say like 15, 14. And basically, they peppered me up, man. Like they just touched me up. They humbled me massively. I thought I was a welterweight, like because I was weighing like welterweight, the weight category, but obviously I'm not a welterweight. But I
Yeah.
thought I was at the time. I got humbled by a little school kid, and from there it was like, right, I want to get to a level where I'm sparring and I'm humbling people. Then it
Yeah.
was I was watching. Then it was like fascinating watching people shadow box. Like I want to learn how to shadow box, but I wanted to look good shadow boxing. I wanted to learn the craft of that. Then I wanted to learn how to skip. I wanted to learn how to do tricks. Then it was like, oh, you've been in the gym, man. You've been in the gym a while now. You might as well start fighting. I wasn't ready for my first fight. I don't know if I've told this story before, but in my first fight, uh, the guy never touched me the whole fight.
Mm.
But I never landed a punch on him either.
Oh, okay.
I was just running for the whole fight. I think like it was just I think people that came to my first amateur fight, a lot of them come to my pro fights now, but I don't know if they
Yeah.
remember, but a lot of people was like, "Raw, Jay, like, are you sure this is for you? Boxing's for you? Because obviously you're 21. I've never been in a fight like that before. Never been in this type of sport. So, when you're an adult and you start boxing, you're a lot more cautious. When you
Yeah.
start boxing as a young child, you'll get used to receiving shots and holding shots and getting punched in the face. So you the cautiousness kind of leaves you. Obviously, as
Mm.
an adult, you're a lot smarter. You have a bit of intellect. You have common sense. You don't want to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it took a while for that to leave. Obviously, now I'm a full-fledged pro, and that stuff don't bother me. But at the beginning of the journey, I, like I said, I started with no intent. It was always just I wanted to always get better and prove to people that I don't know, like I always felt like this is something that I can actually, this is something I can channel myself into. I always felt
Yeah.
like as a kid, I always felt, and even a young man, I always felt that I had something about me, but I never had any avenue to channel it down. And boxing was kind of like, wow, this whole big world has just opened up to me. Like you're learning every day, you're learning every week. It's just unraveling. You're fighting, you're going places. It was just a whole big world that I was exposed to, and it just enabled me to channel that kind of potential that I felt I had in myself.
Mm.
So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. No, it did. Were you active, sort of like going to the gym or whatnot before boxing at all?
You mean like a conventional gym, like weights
Yeah,
and
just
stuff?
fit. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, just like fitness wise.
Um, I had a six pack, but I was very skinny growing up.
Mm.
I played football, but this is what I always say to like people that when I played football and I thought I loved football, but now I understand I didn't love football because I wouldn't get up at 4 o'clock and go for a jog to be fit to play football. I
Yeah.
wouldn't train outside of the training sessions that football teams provided. Um, like I never really had that passion. I understand now I never had that passion for it. Whereas boxing, I'm willing to do that stuff. So there's a different type of passion. But I was fit, but I was never I wouldn't say I was gym strong. I was
Yeah.
just like maybe push-ups and sit up
Okay.
strong, but I wasn't in the gym like that. I like put it like this, yeah. I had protein shake in my house when I was like a teenager, like 17, 16, 18, 19, 20. But I only used to drink it when I wanted a milkshake. I was not serious about gym or anything like that.
That's the worst
Like that was
thing. It
firstly,
tastes like shit as well.
yeah, but hard times, man.
Um, so football, did you play at like a not a high level, but like academy
um,
level? Like
I
was it a
played,
decent
I,
level?
I did like a college scholarship, like a local
Okay.
team, and then like we did a Watford one as well. But I wasn't serious in college at that age. Like I matured very late, man. Like I matured, I kind of hit my stride in maturity like around 20, 22, 21. Like, coincidentally, when I started boxing taught me a lot
Mm.
about myself. It humbled me a lot, and I owe a lot to boxing for like the character that I am.
Yeah. Well, getting beaten up by a 14-year-old will do that, to be fair.
You know what I mean? Definitely bring you back down to earth, man.
Yeah. Just going into your pro career, you started off very active, and
Yeah, yeah.
I've got it here, between 2018 to 2020, had 7 fights, and then obviously it was the Nick
Hmm.
Ball fight, and then we had COVID. But you did have
Yes,
32 months off
yes.
from pro
I did have a
fights.
long time off.
Why
Um,
is that?
right. So, uh, obviously, COVID was a big. So the whole Nick Ball thing was opportunity that I was asking for. I was asking for opportunity. I wanted to fight on TV,
Yeah.
um, all stuff like that. So when it came up, I just said yes straight away. But when it came up, I never had a gym. I didn't have a coach.
Yeah.
I didn't have, I'd been sitting on, so I've been sitting on my ass for about since the summer before, since I think the fight before that was in like July the year before or something. And
Yeah.
I hadn't done no exercise either, like no like physical exercise or like I was just in a bad shape. So I really wasn't in the place to take that fight. And I shouldn't have taken that fight to be honest in hindsight. But you know, things happen, you learn. Uh but after that fight, it was obviously COVID, so a lot of things were happening. Me and my missus found out we was gonna have a baby, which was our son.
Yeah.
So obviously that whole time is a bit conflicting for me because I was very I don't want to I wasn't depressed, but I was very disappointed and what's the word like I felt like I'd done myself and my supporters a disjustice in the performance and that
Yeah.
whole fight. So it was always eating away at me because I felt like it wasn't I didn't give the best version of myself when I had the chance. So it always did sit in the back of my mind. You know, I'll be sitting there and I'll be thinking, wow, man, like I had an opportunity and I just dropped the ball in it. Like it would
Mm.
be sitting on my mind. But like I said, it's conflicting for me because around that same time, the best news that I could ever wish for that I'm gonna be a father, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
and that is the worst year. But in hindsight, for me, it's the best year of my life because that information is, you know what I mean, that if that don't make you happy, then you feel me. So yeah, obviously raising a newborn baby, having that type of stuff. I just didn't have time to be in the gym. And again, at the time, I didn't have a gym. I didn't have
Yeah.
a coach. I didn't have a base. And I'm not sure like how much you know about the professional scene at that type of level, but you kind of need a stable ground. Like you can't just be floating around
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be a floater. And I found that out the hard way. Like uh I don't like to talk about it because I don't like to make excuses. But I could just say some facts. And the fact is like for that netball fight, we was training in parks, car parks. We
Mm.
was going to people's gyms and asking to train. Like I never really and I was welcomed at Evolve Gym and Andy done my corner. I was welcomed there. They made me feel welcome. There was no issues there. But obviously a short period of time and I never really felt like my home, like, you know, and I just as a boxer, I feel like you need to have that kind of stable uh that place of belonging.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to represent, you got to come from somewhere, you got to find somewhere where you belong, and you know, training in car parks and local parks, which you know, at the same time, I I feel like it does build character as well. Like how many fight like I've done a camp before that, the fight before that, I done a camp in a car park and a local park with my
Mm.
friend. We never had a coach. Do you get it? So that's the type like when you've been through that and you now I'm in the best place, like the best place I've been in that type of circumstance. Like when I talk about stable gym, family, coach, everyone around me, like I'm in the best place I've ever been in terms of development, in terms of feeling somewhere at home. Because I've come from that, I've been in that type of environment. This stuff is easy for me. Like I can never be rattled.
Yeah.
Like and on a professional stage, I'll never be rattled.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like good conditions because you need a
Do you
coach
know
that
what I'm
knows
saying?
you.
Yeah, man. It's not good. It's not, man. It's like, and at the time, I thought I was being like, I was too prideful. I thought I was being like tough, and I was doing it the hard way. Like, yeah, like these guys ain't training like me. I'm in the car
Mm.
park doing pads at 6 a.m. with my best friend at the time. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing hill runs in the park and doing pads up. Like, bro, it's not correct, man. You know what I mean? Boxing is a serious sport, and it should be done seriously. We have
Yeah.
no S&C as well at the time. I didn't do no S&C, obviously, because COVID. A lot of the gyms were closed. So yeah, it was all over the place at the time. But you know, like you said, it's character building, and I wouldn't be the person I am today if you don't go through them type of things.
Mm. Well, that's what I was going to ask about. Is because before your, I think definitely first, I think second, you did interviews pre and post fight with Uncle T Boxing, who I don't think makes videos
Yes.
anymore, which is quite sad because
Yeah,
he's
yeah, he
brilliant.
should
But
do, man. Big up Uncle
I
T, man.
know, but and you were like calm, yeah, but also in the best way possible, arrogant and like,
Okay,
confident
yeah.
and like in every essence of
of
it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think arrogance is good,
course, of
especially for
course, of
an
course.
athlete that's not in a
Yeah, yeah,
team,
yeah.
mate. Like, but and I just went like the knock on effect to a loss. That must have been such a shock, especially like you say, where you in your head you're going, I'm doing this the hard way.
Mm.
And it's actually it's not the correct way to do it. Like Nick
It's a
Ball was
very,
probably with a
yeah.
coach and training properly, and that's
Do you know, I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. So that fight, yeah,
mm,
we weighed in. Day before weigh-in at
yeah,
super featherweight, right? So
yeah,
super featherweight is 59 kilos for those that don't know, right? So we weighed in. I'm eating some food that I prepared and bought myself because obviously when COVID were in the bubble, I'm vegan at the time.
yeah,
Um, I prepared. My mum helped me prepare some food, so I'm eating some food, drinking some drink. I'm doing all this type of stuff, getting ready to rehydrate, go to sleep. I wake up the next morning and I weigh 58 kilos.
huh.
Um,
Okay,
and
yeah,
first I panic. I call the coach that was with me. I call Andy Gill, and I'm like,
mm,
"Yo, Andy, like, bro, like, can you come to the room quickly?" Obviously, it's the day of the fight, so he's like, "Bro, like, what's wrong?" Kind of thing. Comes in, and I'm jump on the scale, and I'm like, and the way I had it set up is obviously I had a scale in my room, and I had like the 2 liter bottles. So I had a few of them, yeah, so I could
yeah.
calibrate the scale, so I know how much. So I
Oh,
put
okay, yeah,
six
yeah,
liters on there. I know it's 6 kg. You know what I mean? So within like point 0.2 or whatever. So I jump on the scales, and I'm like, bro, like you seeing this? Like I'm 59. I'm at 58 kg, and this is the first time I ever done a day before weigh-in. Um, so yeah, I've done that completely wrong. Obviously he's not going to tell me, oh, this is messed up. Like he's just said to me, like encouraging things like, nah, don't worry, that just means that you've worked
yeah, yeah,
hard. Like you know what I mean. But really, I should be waking up about 60 odd kg, like mid
yeah,
60s.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
when
That's
you
a problem if
rehydrate,
you're a kilo under.
you
That's
know
a
what I'm
massive
saying. So
problem.
from there, I knew it was going to be a bit of an issue. But like you said, you called it arrogance, but it is a bit arrogant. But I've always had a self belief in myself. Like I will always back myself. So in my head, I'm thinking even at 58 kilos, like I'm too skillful for this guy. I can like that's what I'm telling myself and believe in
Yeah,
myself. Telling me like I eat throughout the day. So I don't know what I actually walked in the ring at, but I would estimate I was probably like 59.5 kilos. So I don't even know. But obviously watching back the fight is frustrating to me because I can see that I have nothing in the tank. I have
yeah,
no gears. And I remember being in the fight and him coming at me hard and he had a period where he gassed out a little bit. And it was like, this is my chance to capitalize and get some success. And I think I might have landed a few body shots, a few shots, but nothing really meaningful because I just had no fuel in the tank.
yeah,
And I obviously now I know because I made the weight, I think 2 weeks before the fight, which is great. Like for me, like I've got a nutritionist now, big up Liam. Liam's nutritionist, Liam Williams. I it's just crazy talk to think 2 weeks before the fight I made the weight of the fight on a day before weighing on a weight that I hadn't been since I was 21. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it was a lot of stuff that was wrong there, but I've never really spoke about it because I've never really had nothing to be like, this is what I can do. Do you get it? So now obviously I've had a few fights now since I've been back
yeah,
and people are seeing the difference. And I'm like, bro, like, I've always been capable of things. But now obviously I've got nutrition's correct. My coach is amazing. Aaron, Team AZ. That's my boy as well, man. Like he's just like a big impact in my life. Um, and I believe in his boxing, his theory of teaching, his theory of coaching. He believes in mine as well
yeah,
because every boxer has their own vision of who they want to be and how they want to box and what style and their thoughts. And ours gel really well. So I can only be grateful for that. But yeah, like I said before, I've gone off on a tangent. I apologize. I do that a lot. But
it's all right.
yeah, so so yeah, that was the problem with that fight. You said about what did you ask you about that? How to take a loss? Um, I've never been scared of losing.
Yeah,
Uh, I wouldn't do half of the things I did if I was. I've never been scared of losing, but it's hard to lose in front of people that support you as well, when you feel like you haven't given it the best. If I've given it everything and I've lost and a better man has won, listen, at the end of the day, I conduct myself properly. Like even at the end of the fight, I went up to him. I said, "Listen, man, congrats. You won fair and square." I said, "Go on and do your thing, man." And he just looked at me and he said, "Yeah, I will." I remember that. So obviously he's doing that. So you know what I mean? Credit to him, man. You get me? He's doing his thing, man. And I love to see people, that deserve it. And obviously he's worked hard and he's climbing the ranks. And I've got a big opportunity coming up. You know what I mean? So but yeah, you mentioned about before how I used to come across a bit cocky and all stuff like that. I think that was jumping into the pro scene at a small hall level.
Mm.
I was told like tickets, 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 tickets. You
Okay,
got to sell yourself. You got to be like this and that. And I'm as a person, as Jerome, I'm a very introverted person.
yeah,
But Stay Ready is almost a fictional character within myself who I've created.
yeah, like an
And
alter
it's
ego.
almost like an alter ego. And it's almost like when Stay Ready is there, it's like this whole load of charisma, this whole load of everything just comes out. And I say and do. And what I believe is the right stuff because I like when I watch things back, I've never ever looked at things and been like cringy or anything like that, or been like, oh, that was
No, no, no,
corny.
no.
If I've said stuff, it's obviously for a reason, but as well, like I was having to sell myself, innit? Like and
Yeah,
even now, it's still like I'm not on the networks, the TV networks at the moment. So, see, we'd like to be, but at the moment we're not. So we need to humble ourselves and realize where we are. But it's still about the ticket game, man. That's what it's about right now, and that's why I'm having issues right now because I was meant to. Well, I wanted to fight for the English title. I won an eliminator,
yeah,
but the British board decided to give the fight to Kane Baker, which is fair. He's been on TV before. He's had a lot more fights than me. I don't think he's better than me by any stretch of anything. But you got to give credit where it's due, and what he's done, like coming from white collar scene. So
yeah,
respect to him. So him and Michael Gomez are fighting for it. So now that leaves me in a position where it's what do I do now? Because the title I wanted to fight for ain't there. The Southern area is not there because that's being contested. So I'm at a position now where it's hard to come from a 10-round fight against an opponent like similar record, similar place of his career, to then go and fight, maybe a 4 or 6 rounder against a journeyman. And
mm.
I'm not saying that that's hard to do and that's bad, but I'm saying it's hard to sell to
Yeah, yeah,
support because I've been thinking I'm gonna fight for English title or I'm gonna be I feel like this year. Big things are happening that I'm trying to stay on that level of 10 rounds, day before weigh-ins, title contentions, eliminators, that type of caliber of fights. So it's very hard for me to sit here now and be like, oh, right guys, I've got a six rounder and you're cool, which I need you to support. So I'm in a situation now I'm trying to weigh up some options.
yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that's like a bit. Do I want to swear? Trying to think who's going to watch this. I think it's a bit. Yeah, I think it's a bit fucked. They should.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think they should take away if you fight for the eliminator and you win the eliminator.
Mm.
It should be
I mean,
you. Like that
yeah,
to me. I
I
don't
don't
like
know.
that.
I don't know how they work it but I don't want to comment on it because I don't want to upset nobody in them type of positions
Oh,
to where it might backfire on me. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
So I'll just be neutral right now and sit on
yeah.
the fence. I'm
I
saying,
won't be because I don't care because it doesn't affect me.
fair enough.
It's
That's fair enough.
money, of course. They feel like that's the
Of
money, but
course,
like that's wrong. That's wrong. I don't like that because, like you say,
it
like
is what it is, man.
it's not attractive for you to then go and do a 6 rounder, and it doesn't
It's
matter
not, man.
as much as it's not your fault. It's not
Yeah,
management's
yeah,
fault. It's like how
yeah.
can you
What
sell
can
that
you do, man?
without
Yeah,
just
it's
like
hard.
blatantly lying or something, which is like
It's hard, man, and it's like, yeah, like I have like the momentum as well that I'm carrying from the end of the year, and I carried it through from December. Like even with like things like trying to promote myself as a brand and grow myself, and maybe trying to attract sponsors and stuff like that. But it's hard to do that when you say to sponsors, I've got this fight coming up. It's a 4 to 6 rounder against a nobody with a losing record, which I'm not saying is the worst thing in the world because it's important to have them type of people in boxing and them fights. But I just feel like for me right now, where my trajectory is, it's more of a hindrance
Yeah,
than a progress thing. Where helping me develop and that.
yeah.
At this stage
Well,
in my
no, it
career,
is. It is. It is. That's exactly what it is. It's a
go on,
shame
man.
as
Sorry.
well. Like, I was going to move on to the English Eliminator, but we've covered that.
Mhm.
This is brilliant for me, by the way. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
cover
no.
everything. It's great.
Well, I mean, like I said, I go off on tangents a lot, man. So I apologize if I do that. But if you're appreciating it, then it's all good.
Oh, it's good. I mean, I can just sit back and listen.
Yeah,
It's nice.
I
But
hope you do your job.
exactly. I was going to ask you about the sort of branding yourself kind of stuff
Yeah,
because if
yeah.
anybody follows you currently on Instagram and anybody that doesn't should do, you make a lot
Hmm.
of reels and stuff, and they do quite
Hmm.
good numbers view wise and likewise.
Yeah.
Um, is that purely just promotional? Do you do it like do you enjoy doing it? I mean, some of them do really, really well, and you must get some
That's a Yeah,
traction
that's
from
an
it. I mean,
interesting question. That's a very, very good question. So I in the summer I decided that I wanted to really knuckle down on um on content and building myself as a brand and growing myself on social media because
yeah,
I've always been aware of the rewards of a successful person in that type of industry and doing that type of stuff and how it can change lives and especially for boxers as well. I think it's important for people who are trying to be attractive to other people in terms of a brand, in terms of a sport, to be present on social media because it's such a big thing right now. It's been a big thing, not even right now. So I would say
yeah,
I'm a bit late on jumping on the bandwagon, but I got offered the fight to fight Rasul for the English Eliminator, and I didn't have time to. When I was in camp, I was just fully locked in. Like for me, it was like this is the biggest fight I've had so far. This is I thought I was gonna fight for the English after, so I thought this is setting me up for a big next year. It's gonna be the momentum is gonna be crazy. Like, I have to just super lock into this. So I had a plan, like I had it in my journal, I had it written down in my notes. What I'll do, I went and bought an iPhone because I had a Samsung at the time, and the iPhone I just felt like was better for content creation and things like that. I wrote down a load of ideas, and I still do that to be fair. And then when the fight finished, so it was literally like after the fight, it was like boom, go to work now. Like because I
yeah,
treat the content kind of stuff as a job in a sense because it does feel like a job at some point. Um, and I've been posting every day since I think like the 4th or 5th of December or something like that. So sometimes twice a day as well. With the exception of the days that I went to on holiday with my family, the signal
yeah.
was all over the place, and I was just like, you know what, let me just take a break for real and just focus on having a good time with my family and content can just chill. So I posted a few things, but yeah, I actually enjoy it. I feel like um I feel like sometimes when you're creative, uh when you get to express that, obviously I'm not fighting every week. I'm not fighting, so I don't really get to express my create like how I want to express myself. But if there's things that I can create and things that can help me as a brand as well and help me grow,
Mm.
and maybe attract some sort of collaborations and sponsorship. And I've had a few messages actually and a few inquiries about collaboration. So hopefully in the near future we'll be seeing some progress in them type of aspects. But yeah, I do enjoy it, and thank you for saying that. It's good because I do put time into it, and
Yeah,
yeah, it just allows me to express myself, man. And I would be lying if I said it doesn't feel nice when people appreciate your work, and you get a lot of likes. My following was in December, wow, like it went up from I think 10.8 to now I'm on 13.5, but it has taken a huge dip. But I was aware of that. I was never thinking, yo, this is going to the moon and it's going to be like this every day. I was aware of, you know, I've been boxing long enough. In boxing, you have ups and downs in
yeah,
sessions, in camps, and yeah, peaks and that type of stuff. So that's just life, man. You ride the highs and just ride the lows at the same time. You can't just let it get you. So, but yeah, I do enjoy it. And yeah, if anyone out there wants to show support, just like it, share it, comment, man, engage with me. I try to engage back, and yeah, man.
because it is really good. I mean, I remember well, the one that I can remember clearly because I think it did really well was you in the street like shadow boxing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
which just
was
looks quite funny.
that was crazy because what happened was I said to my missus that I was like, listen, you just take a picture of me, like I just had a fight, take a picture
Mm.
of me, and I think she was recording, and then she was like, I'm recording, so I was just like, what do like in my head I didn't know, I was just like, oh, what about box? What do I just said, fuck it, I shadow box, and
Yeah.
like it was just a simple idea really, but um you'd be surprised at how well the simple ideas do. Um, like I said, I have a strategy for my 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 Instagram growth and my branding on myself. And sometimes, well, it has been successful, but it has taken a dip right now. But things like that have been part of the strategy and things that have helped me realize a lot about social media and understand how
Yeah.
the whole thing, how people, because what it is with social media, I I know a lot of people have the problem when they're looking at their content, what they're posting and stuff. They're looking at it and they're thinking, yeah, this is sick. Like I've edited this, I've put all of these work in and this and that, and I think this is wicked. But they need to take away from the whole me, and I. You need to look at it as if you're someone else watching that type of work. And will this work relate to people? Will it stop people scrolling when they're
Mm.
going through their feed or reels or in the explore page? Do they find it funny? Is it something that I want to save? Is it something I want to share? Does the content trigger me enough in my emotions or my thoughts to make me want to comment? And these are all type of things that you need to think about. And sometimes you'd be surprised at how just shadow boxing in the street will just
Yeah.
make people engage with you.
I
So, but
know.
yeah, man, that one did do quite well. And yeah, I hope that I can, like I said, grow and maybe attract some brands and sponsorship and grow as a boxer. Really, that's the whole idea, is to grow as a boxer, grow as a personality. And then obviously when boxing is done, if I have a community behind me, when I want to
Yeah.
venture into other things that like maybe coaching, maybe type of like informative stuff. I don't know. I've got a lot of things that I've written down and a lot of plans that I want to do. So when that does happen, I will have a community that will, I hope, support what I do and follow the career after boxing.
Yeah. It's just that freedom afterwards. But I think that's sensible.
Exactly.
I think that's sensible
Yeah,
because a
no,
lot of
definitely.
boxers get stuck after they finish. A lot of
Yeah,
athletes, actually,
boxing,
not just
a
boxers,
lot
but
of athletes, yes. And that is because that I'm sure now, in this day and age where people are more aware of mental health and all that type of stuff. You hear the stories of people in the 90s and noughties and athletes,
mm,
and they're coming out now and when they're middle aged and they're talking about all the things they went through. So like you can watch a podcast like you said on Stephen Bartlett's podcast, watch an ex footballer and
yeah,
he'll tell you how he was depressed after he stopped, and that's because I feel like after you do a sport, especially boxing, because boxing is like it is a life, and you need to fill that gap, that void after. And I feel
yeah,
like a lot of people are not really aware of what to do after. So I feel like things like planning and these are things that should be discussed with boxers and coaches. But boxing is a weird sport, man. It just doesn't have like it's the weirdest type of like as a professional boxer, like there's no one governing body that kind of sets all the rules and you have to follow. And it's just very the business side and all that type of stuff. It does take away from the beauty of an actual boxing fight and the art of it and what people
yeah,
put into it. So I'm just grateful that I have a head on my shoulders and that the people around me, are supportive as well. And that when boxing is finally done, I have plans and options and places I want to go and things I want to do.
yeah. Well, I think that's a very good way of describing boxing. Really, when the two men or two people, women, whoever are in the ring,
Mm.
it's the best
Yeah,
sport in the world, like
best sport in the
bar
world.
none.
Yeah,
Take them out, and then you just look at sort of the structure of it. It might be the worst.
yeah.
It's so poorly.
It
It's
definitely is,
so
man.
poorly run. Like it's a
It
shame as
definitely is.
well
Yeah,
because how
it's a big
can
shame. It's a big shame. It's a very big shame. But you know, um, not in my career, but maybe in the next generation, maybe the generation after, it might be heading somewhere, where it's in a better light and a better place. And I hope it does, man, because um, like I said, boxing's changed my life.
Yeah.
It has made me the person I am today, and I'm not the only person who feels like that. I know, like, without even asking, there's a lot of people's lives it's changed and impact. So I hope that it does head in that direction where it grows as a sport and becomes more. Uh, it becomes more. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it looks after the boxers more, like
Yeah.
where the boxers benefit from the sport a lot more at all levels. I
Yeah.
feel like it should be maybe a bit harder to get your pro license
Oh, I agree with
because,
that.
I feel like it should be a little bit harder. But at the same time, that's just my opinion, man. Like, who knows, man? But yeah, I feel like it's hard for boxers, man. And I don't want to sound like I'm pitying boxers and that, because we don't need pity. We're warriors. We fight with honor. You know what I mean? We train hard, we put it in. But I just feel like sometimes we're undervalued, especially at the small hall level. There's a lot of talent that goes uh to waste because they just don't get the support or momentum that, mainstream boxers get.
Yeah. Well, it's a similar thing. If you could be the best boxer ever, but if you can't get one ticket sale,
Do you know what I'm saying? It's literally that.
probably not going
So
to do that well in the sport. And it's like, well, that's just completely
yeah, so
fucked up, really.
until there's a collaboration with small hall and networks where the money's there and tickets are um decided by, network, and I don't know, like I don't understand. I'm not sure how it will work, but until there is a way where, boxers don't have to rely on selling tickets. Because at the same time, like, you can complain about it, but when promoters and managers put on shows, like, they need to pay for it. So, and if
Yeah.
boxers selling tickets, like, the money don't come out of nowhere. So I understand the sport, but I'm saying I'm hoping that it will improve in that type of aspect. Hopefully in
Yeah.
the near future. I don't think it will improve throughout my career, but maybe the next generation.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I would
hopefully.
class myself as although my record is not senior, um, as a boxer, especially in the gym, especially as a fighter, and especially as a man, I would say I'm senior in the sport. So
Mm.
uh, that type of wisdom and knowledge. I hope that the next gen, will kind of benefit from that type of stuff, man.
Yeah. Just because Zoom is telling me we're running out of time and I'm not paying for Zoom just
Okay.
yet. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you for your question for the next guy. It can be absolutely anything. Can be boxing related. Doesn't have to be.
Uh, I'll keep it boxing related because we're on a boxing podcast and I'm a boxer. Um, if there's something you could change about boxing to improve it as a sport, what would it be?
That's good. That's really good. Oh,
You know,
you should do interviews, man. These questions.
you know what? Yeah, I'm. When you got a child, yeah, I've got a child. I've got a full time job. I'm trying to train, which is a full. I train twice a day, which is a full time job as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to juggle so much stuff, man, and yeah, is hard. But like again,
Mm.
I apologize for taking so long to come and be
No,
on the
no, no,
show
no.
because I respect what you're doing. And you said in the message, I support your work, and I hope it really does take off for you because I can see the work you're putting in, man.
Yeah, hopefully. Zoom is telling me less than a minute. I don't know what's going to happen, but do you have any like
Okay, no
sponsors you do
problem.
want to shout out? Just start rattling stuff you want.
I don't have no sponsors, but I will shout out my team, everyone at Jab Boxing down at Bushy, Azar, AZ, my coach, my
Yeah.
stable. We've got a few big fights coming up. Ollie Duffy's fighting Southern area. Uh, Obi is fighting for a Southern area.